What up, guys? So, got a video for you today because it's YouTube and there's videos here. So, obviously, there's a video today. I didn't need to say that. So, I'll tell you all about the video right after you do the YouTube thing. Like, subscribe, tell some friends and family, pets, whatever. I'll take what I can get. But we had a day today. Today was the reverse push day, which is basically a tricep day with 1 delt exercise and 2 chest exercises. Had some guests in town. Fabian, I can't pronounce it. So, Fabian, classic physique competitor, and Thomas, right? Yeah, pretty sure Thomas. I don't know anybody's last names, but that's okay. If I remember first names, which is kudos for me. But Fabian's competing in the Olympia.
Mayr.
Okay, Mayr. If that's pronounced wrong, I blame Terrence.
Mayr.
Mayr. So you guys tell me how that's pronounced. I don't know. But anyway, so Fabian is getting ready. He just did the Arnold with Terrence. We were both talking about it. Very, very impressive physique. Had really, really good conditioning, really good separation, and just after meeting him, just a really nice guy. It's cool to just meet somebody too that's really excited about doing the things you should be excited about. He did the Arnold for the first time this year. He's doing the Olympia for the first time this year, and he looked great. And so it's fun to have them in town. Just tagging along for, again, doing some triceps, delts, and chest. I joke, for me, it's not the most exciting day, but I think they still enjoyed it as much as you can enjoy triceps and delts and chest. And then again, the time frame of this, it's Saturday, right? It's Saturday, so it's 1 week out. And so yeah, that's that. You guys can, if you want some more detail on this workout, you can always look back to some of the ones where I've gone through every exercise and explained a little bit more because we've done this exact workout a bunch. But you guys can just get a little, bird's eye view of it, a little mouse on the wall. Not a mouse on the wall. What is it saying? Something. Fly on the wall. Fly on the wall. I think mice go on walls too, and they watch shit, so that could work as well. Something on a wall. It's not me on a wall. Enjoy watching the video, and watch some posing at the end as well too. And again, hopefully we'll have a couple more for you guys coming into this last week before Terrence gets on stage, Fabian gets on stage, and I get in the crowd. I'm gonna sit in a seat in the crowd, so I'm prepping for that to make sure my sitting form is just right. But anyway, guys, until the next one, hope you enjoy. He looks great, by the way, the Arnold.
Thank you.
Very, very good. I was saying this, you one of the standouts some of you had in conditioning was that rare balance of being very separated, good fullness still. I was like, oh, that guy, he nailed it.
Thank you so much. What do you think? What should I work on in the next off season?
I'll look at your pictures a little bit more before I give you, because honestly, it's just like half of it's that's the first I've seen, you go through all of it and do all of it. So I was just kind of looking at everything, like, oh wow, really, overall balance is really, really good. But I'll look through some of your pictures again and look through all your mandatories and give you some better feedback based off of that. But
thank you.
Yeah, I mean for your first Arnold, I think that's all that matters at the end of the day. Obviously, is I think you made a really good first impression for everybody.
Yeah.
And then from there, people just want to see improvement. And I saw your pictures too from Terrence had showed me, I think, from your amateur to that. So that's all that matters if you're making progress. People will be happy, the judges will be happy.
But I'm already looking forward to coming back better next year.
Oh yeah, that's all of it, right? And that's the fun part. We joke with Terrence, everybody. It's like when you're in off season, you look at everybody that's close to a show, and you're like, I can't wait till I'm doing a show. And then when you're doing all your shows, you're looking at everybody in the off season, you're like, oh, I can't wait for off season. That's the bodybuilder thing. You're basically just never happy.
That's it, exactly.
I think we'll probably actually do 3 working sets here. Okay. But for him, he's basically staying just short of failure on everything. So we'll go relatively heavy, but just short of failure. We do like a top set. So we'll do heaviest set first, then back off, and back off. When we get into the pressing movements, we'll probably just do 2 working sets. The shoulders, we might do 3, and then the chest, we'll probably do 2 each. So. lot of people will do, like they'll think about the hands, bend the elbows, and they'll go right here, like, and that's the end. But if you look here, like, so this is the range of motion you got here. You still have that much left. You know, so if you stop right here, put your hands together, you're actually missing out on that much. So I always tell people, I mean, like your hands might come together, that's fine. But if you're thinking about this spot, you know, you're much more likely to get a full contraction.
So you try to close the gap between.
Pretty much, yeah.
Genau, das was du mir gesagt hast, Tom.
So, and on this, do try and slide your hips forward just a little bit. So like anything that's kind of considered like a flat movement, if you turn it into like a slight decline, it generally will line up better with like more pec fibers. So, see how that feels. Slide the hips forward just a little more. There you go, right there, yep. Still keep that nice kind of arch in the back, chest nice and tall. Yep. I like this at the very end of the workout. It's like one of the few times I'll pick something that's intentionally like a shorter range of motion, and very, very stable, because we've trained so much stuff that I don't want any like stability issues, like, so I wouldn't do like a free weight or something in this case. And because a fly pretty much trains your pecs from fully lengthened to fully shortened, I really just kind of want to get like whatever's left in like the middle range. And so I just think it's nice between, again, the floor limiting the range of motion and being on a Smith. It's just a very, very stable exercise and a place just to have a lot of output from the chest without anything else really taking over. So.
Because recently we discussed a lot about this exercise, and do you think it can be a problem if you can't fix your shoulders right there? Or
no, because it's a short range of motion, so it's just basically figure out what position feels good. So it's like when you're doing like anything that like really fully stretches the pec, I think it's important to be able to pull your shoulder blades all the way together. But here you can kind of in the middle. I mean, you wouldn't want to be in there with your shoulders pulled forward, but you don't necessarily have to be all the way retracted either. Like basically, I just kind of go somewhere comfortable in the middle. You know, I try and feel like I'm keeping my chest tall, but that's a little bit more about arching. But as far as my shoulder blades, I just kind of let them sit like kind of flat on the ground. Honestly, I don't try and retract them a whole lot. So again, I think the shoulder blade motion And it's really only, like I said, more important when you're at your end ranges, fully stretched. You really want them pulled all the way together. And as you come to the top, you know, they can pull forward a little bit as you finish that full contraction. But here, it's kind of find a comfy spot in the middle. And because the range of motion is so short, you can just kind of leave them there.
Your Instagram profile with videos. This is my outfit. Ja, schön. Ruffin. Ja. Monster. Two different physics.
Okay.
So
That's the beauty of bodybuilding.
We're discussing a lot if we should do the vacuum in the front double biceps.
do it,
Because-
don't do it. I like it more without. Show without.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always just
That's without. Wow.
Okay.
And with Ruffin, I like it without more. Both is great.
Yeah, they're both good, man. You can always do both. You could always do both. I mean, obviously, you could hit the vacuum first and then transition into the not vacuum, which looks like most other guys vacuum. So.
Do you maybe have a good was das ein Tipp?
Tips, some tips.
Because I really have issues flexing my hamstring. Yeah.
I think doesn't real good right now. I don't know. Let's see.
This looks good. I think it's in this head.
Yeah.
No, you good, yeah.
Yeah.
More chest and a little bit more back.
Yeah.
You probably carried the most.
That's what we're actually working on.
Yeah, yep. So, but everything looks good. That's like splitting hairs because you have a very balanced physique already, and obviously some of like the classic look. If there is a slight difference, because honestly, like with Terrence, as nasty as his back is, we don't do a ton of like thickening stuff. Like I don't want his erectors way bigger. I don't even want his upper back like way bigger. You know, it's more about just like width, small waist, big arms, big legs. That's more kind of the classic look, as opposed to obviously open guys. You just want, you know, their back can just be dense as fuck. You want like a foot deep basically. And that doesn't really, not quite translate into all the classics. So I think the fact that you have good extremities and tiny waist makes a really good look for classic. And just like I said, a little bit more chest and back, and you'll
Do you think my bone structure is a disadvantage because it's
not
more
really.
widening?
No, because honestly, well, because you got a tiny hips though. You know, so I mean, honestly, if you don't have the broadest clavicles in the world, but you have small hips and you have big delts.
Yeah.
So you don't, I don't notice it at all. Yeah, you look wide. So I don't notice that at all. Honestly, when you're hitting your poses, and then some of that'll help too. Like honestly, if you just keep your waist really tight, you know, as your quads keep getting a little bit bigger, and you can add a little bit more lat, then obviously that'll create some width. Like some of your front shots, just because you have kind of, that's that half of your issue with your back, it's not an issue, but you have a long torso, which is fine. But like some of your front shots, like your front relaxed, like if you hit a front lat spread, even your front bicep, as you just get a little bit more meat, you know, a little bit more lat showing from the front, that'll fill in some stuff as well there too. So, but I wouldn't worry about bone structure as a matter, because again, because of your hips and because you have big delts, you don't notice it at all. So, the same as like Phil Heath had some narrow clavicles, he seems to be doing all right. So, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you look good.
Just have it right here, and now I just like brought it up like a little bit.
Okay.
And that's the only thing, that's probably what they would tell you, because that's what you told me.
Good. Thank you.
The other thing I think you could show more, maybe Terrence has a different pain too, but on your quarter turns, I think you could probably show a little bit more, because again, because of your long torso, because of your structure, I think if you can rotate a little bit further, you might, because it looked to me, if you weren't rotated far enough and you honestly had your arms a little bit further away from your body, and again, if you, like this space in here, you don't want too much space. So I think if you can rotate a little bit further and then hit it, Trevor's got to move though for me to be able to look at it. Scoot one over there, or scoot up here, like you come this way. So maybe that's just me, but. Now what you do, so just relax everything first, and let me see. So before you tighten anything, rotate as far as you can. So rotate, and then tighten it. And pull that lower abdomen right there. And chest up just a little bit. I think that looks a little bit better. Okay. That's, I don't know if Terrence thinks so. That was the only pose I thought you had, but you're leaving a little bit where you can show a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's if you, as long as you're keeping, because again, everything just kind of look like, I mean, you're really just like, it's like you're just doing like from a side pose. It's like every other guy, you know, you're trying to basically, as much as you can turn open, because it's a silhouette pose, you want depth here, you want your waist to look as small as possible, and then you want some of that V-taper. So if you have this open up, then it looks wider, narrow, wider, which is what you're trying to do. And so most guys, I mean, I was taught, like Ben told me, it's like rotate first, and then tighten it up. Because if you flex first, it's gonna like limit how far you can rotate. And then the same thing here, just look at your shoulders. You don't wanna, like it's not, some guys do this, like they're way up, like looking up like this, and that looks stupid. You don't wanna have like this ridiculous posture, but you do want like a tall posture. So your posture just kind of looks like the same. You're just kind of like turning and just kind of here. But I think it like, because you do want like kind of a, you know, the joke is like, Ben used to tell me, is like, you say in your head like, I'm a fucking stud. When you turn, like whatever kind of taller posture there. And again, I think we have a little bit, like I think that looks a little bit better. And you can obviously play around with that, like wherever you want your hands and stuff. But before you just kind of everything look kind of, I don't know. Like I think that looks a little bit better. That make sense?
I think it does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. Thank you.
Did that go through there?
Oh man, I'm looking forward to the Olympia.
Yeah.
Ja, mit back ist wirklich so, du kannst dran, du ist so, du hast die Volume.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm super excited.
Sweet. You don't get excited about the Olympia. What are you excited about, right?